On the line is the Road Safety Camera Commissioner, Gordon Lewis. Good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
Okay, so what do the figures show on what you've seen?
Well, the figures for the past 3 years, which are direct from the Department of Justice, show that of about 50,000 motorcyclists detected speeding, just about 20,000 of those have not been infringed or given infringement notices because they couldn't be identified for lack of a front number plate.
Well, that's a very disturbing figure, isn't it, that percentage?
Well, it's an interesting comparison with motor cars. Four-wheel motor vehicles, the percentage of vehicles that can't be identified for lack of a number plate is 0.33%.
Would a front number plate fix it for the bikes?
A front number plate would be very, very helpful indeed, because you see, a lot of the fixed cameras on the main highways, like the Geelong Road and the Western Ring Road, will only record a speeding vehicle from the front. And similarly with and more, I think importantly, the mobile speed cameras are designed to take a frontal shot of an oncoming vehicle. So if the vehicle has no number plate at all, or it can't be identified, and you've got situations where we tried to pick out a couple of, I think, pretty rank examples, and one was a guy at Caroline Springs who was riding his motorcycle at 222 k's in a 60 k zone, and another was snapped at Shepparton doing 118 k's in a 50 k zone, but neither of those were infringed.
And there's every possibility they're both on the road still.
Yeah, look, I think not a bad question is to say this. Would your driving of a motor vehicle be different if you were confident that you had no identification on the front of it?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. So what's the problem? Why can't it be fixed? You recommended, a year ago, didn't you?
Yeah, I recommended in my annual report last year that they should, in fact. I didn't really care what was happening overseas. I'll agree that I think it's India and Singapore have frontal number plate for motorcycles, but it seemed to me that what they were doing elsewhere really didn't matter much in the face of what was an increasing road toll in respect of a very vulnerable area of our road users, and that's motorcyclists. But what really got up my nose, Neil, was when I inquired why no progress had been made with that recommendation, I was told that a parliamentary committee, it's called the Parliamentary Road Safety Committee, had been deliberating about motorcycle safety for a year, and that they were going to hand down their report in December of last year.
Yeah.
Now, in their terms of reference, the term of reference H is new initiatives to reduce motorcycle crashes and injuries. And to their credit, they produced a report of 495 pages. That's a pretty big report, Neil.
Yeah.
And nowhere in that report that I can find do they mention front number plates.
Why? What's the problem here? Well, I can't see that.
Well, I don't know either. The Motorcycle Association have always lent on, I think, two props to justify not having front number plates. One is it'll affect the aerodynamics of the bike, which I think is tosh, so long as the bike's being ridden at a reasonable speed. I mean, the bloke who was doing 222 k's up at Caroline Springs, I would have thought he was worrying about whether he'd take off or be able to land properly.
Yeah.
And the other one is to be consistent with overseas. Well, if we're going to be dictated to by other countries with different road conditions, well, I think that's a sad comment on us.
Yeah, well, you never would have introduced seatbelts either. I think we're one of the first in the world to do that.
Well, what's wrong with being first? That's right.
Now, the Motorcycle Council says that the credibility of your office is gone because this is based on a non-existent police study.
No, look, they're a long way behind things. The figures that I've relied upon for my statements to the Herald Sun are based on the last 3 financial years in respect of which I have a report in front of me at the moment, which has come direct from the Department of Justice, which is based on the raw figures for those 3 years. What they're talking about are the figures for the 3 previous years to that. That is going back 6 years, where I was provided with figures for my last report by the Department of Justice, but the actual basis or the report upon which those figures were based, the police have not been able to find. But forget about 6 years ago. Just worry about the last three. Three financial years, and it's not really quite honest to say that those figures aren't available, because in fairly heated correspondence with the Motorcycle Association, I actually sent them the basis for the figures some months ago, and they've had them in their possession now, to my knowledge, for 4 or 5 months.
Getting a bit heated, is it?
Well, at one stage I received a letter saying that they were sure that as the police could not produce the original figures, perhaps I'd like to withdraw my recommendations in my report.
You declined?
I pointed out certain sections in the Crimes Act.
Why? Oh, those sections in the Crimes Act being what?
Well, Section 87 of the Crimes Act makes reference to gaining an advantage as a result of, well, a threat.
So you felt you were being threatened by them?
I did at that stage, yes.
You don't now?
Well, they've got nothing to threaten with.
Okay. Final point, the most important point, if we address this, it potentially saves lives, doesn't it?
Oh, heavens, yes. I mean, the ratio, or the figures that can be traced to motorcycle accidents per distances travelled is just overwhelming. I mean, you don't have to worry about me in that regard. Go back to the Auditor General's report of August 2011, where my recollection is, and I haven't got it in front of me, Neil, is that he reported that for kilometres travelled, it was, I think, 30 times more likely, you were 30 times more likely to have a serious injury or a fatal accident riding a motorcycle than you were in any other vehicle.
Okay, I thank you very much for your time.